Perfect. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm excited about this webinar. So if anybody doesn't know me, a little bit about me, I was born and raised in Switzerland. I came to the United States in 2004, got my license in 2020. Yes, right when COVID hit with a 1-year-old and 3-year-old. That was definitely the adventurous start into real estate. And my passion is to help other realtors grow their business. And this is one of the tactics that I do at these free webinars. So definitely check them out at the very end. I'm going to put that link in there. I have one coming up on AI. So yeah, definitely make sure you take advantage of these free webinars. And today, one of them is with Jeff Sutherland. And I'm really excited to have Jeff Sutherland. This is our second one that we're doing. And a little bit about Jeff. Jeff has sold over 1,000 houses in his career. He was the top regional sales manager for KB Home, formerly owned and operated United Brokers Group in Chandler, and grew the brokerage to 250 agents. Very impressive. And also U.S. Navy veteran and bifocal pastor. And currently he is one of the coaches for the EXP Attract Boss program, which is wonderful. I'm part of that too, and I just love it. So yes, welcome, Jeff, and thank you again for doing this presentation.
Thank you, Janine. You're so kind. I appreciate you. Thanks for putting this together. I'm hoping that what we'll do is record this today, and then if you want to rewatch it later, certainly do that. I'm going to get right after it. I'm going to share my screen, and if you have any questions, just put it in the chat, and then Janine will let me know, and I'll be sure I answer them. I've got quite a few slides to go through here today, so I'll be moving pretty quickly. I want to make sure I get to the value that you need from today. Can everybody see this okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. All right. So today we're talking about how to get listings. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my story because we have a lot of material to get through, but been in the business 23 years, going on 24. I love it. I still love it. It's about people to me. I've sold a lot of houses over the years, well over 1,000. I've owned 2 Keller Williams franchises, been a part of that ownership group. And I also own my own company, United Brokers Group in Chandler, Arizona. So that was a lot of fun. Started my journey in new home sales, and I really have enjoyed my career. I think when it comes to getting listings, today I'm going to focus on how to get them, how to service them, because those that have the listings have the gold in real estate. The people that have listings have the gold. So you have a 24/7 marketplace open when you have a listing. And so it doesn't matter what market you're in, you should always be going after listings. In my opinion, there are certain times where buyers are definitely a great way to go too, but whenever you have listings, you're protecting your business. So that's about all I wanted to share about my story, because I want to get into the meat of this today. That way we can get to some of your questions and thoughts. But we need more listings because we're in a constrained supply environment throughout the United States. So whenever you can get a listing, you're winning. So today, I'm going to help you get more. First of all, everything has to do with your daily mindset and your calendar. If your calendar is on par, you're going to succeed in real estate. So my rule of thumb when I set up my calendar is if you're just going to do lead generation 1 hour a day, you'll survive in the business. If you're going to do it 2 hours a day, you're going to grow. 3 hours a day, you will dominate. So I want you to start reframing what you do for a living, and don't think of yourself as a realtor. Think of yourself as a lead generator. That's what we do. We generate leads, and we do that through a variety of methods. And today I'm going to show you a lot of different methods to do that. But when you have more leads than what you can handle, is that a good problem or a bad problem? Right? If you have more leads than what you can handle, the good news is you can refer that out if you have to. So it's all about generating business. So I have a lot of books I read. These are a couple of the last books I've read. I have been following this Miracle Morning for now 5 years, and I do it every day. Does anybody ever follow the Miracle Morning? Oh, yeah. So we have one. Excellent. How long have you been doing it?
I just picked up the book about 6 months ago and I love it. Good
Okay.
energy. Yeah. Hal's a good one.
Good. You know, and obviously I'm not going to go through a book review on these, but I wanted to share with you that in order to be a good listing agent or a good agent, you have to have morning rhythms. Would you guys agree? You need to have rhythms, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about my rhythm because that puts me in the mindset of being able to lead generate at the highest levels. And I think I'm one of the best lead generators in this industry because every morning I program my mind and my body and my soul, to approach this business the right way. Um, and I approach it with the idea of outloving my competition. Yes, you heard it right. I outlove my competition. I want to love as many people as possible every day and pour into them. And because of that, I get a lot of business and serving them, having a servant heart. So The Miracle Morning is a great book. Also, The Energy Bus is a great book. I think you can take just about any circumstance that you get hit with in life and you can turn it into a positive energy if you're focused on the right things. And if your outlook is bright and you're looking at, what could come out of this. And so those are two books I'm reading. And I also read a lot of the Bible every morning too. That helps me. I call that the basic instructions before leaving Earth, Bible. Okay, so the Miracle Morning. These are the things that I do every day. 5 minutes of silence. If you've ever tried it, you should. It's hard. Letting nothing come into your brain at all except silence and trying to make everything just completely like not letting all the things that we get bombarded with as real estate agents come into our mind. Clearing your mind. Affirmations, 5 minutes. I'll walk around the house or I'll go outside and I'll speak outward things into the world. And because I do this, I reprogram my brain every day because we have to do that because we're bombarded with negativity in the world. That's just the way the world is, but we have control of our minds. So I'll walk around and say, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to hug at least 3 people. I'm going to write 5 personal notes. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I'm going to avoid sugar. I'm a closing person. I like to close deals. And I keep talking like that for a good 5 minutes. And over time, when you do that, you kind of rewire your brain. And that's important. Visualization. If any of you have been athletes, this is something that athletes do a lot. I 5 minutes of visualization. I visualize my day. Who do I want to meet with? Who do I maybe not want to meet with? How does my day look to me if I'm going to win? What does a winning day look like to me? I've actually visualized it in my head and some of the things I need to do that are absolutely critical for the day to be a good day. And then I'll exercise for 60 minutes. I start all of this at 5 a.m. And I know not everybody can. Some people have children and things like that, but there's different varieties that you can do. So I exercise 60 minutes. Then I read for 20 minutes. So I read a motivational book and I also, read scripture and things that uplift me. And then finally, in 5 minutes, I do scribing. So I write my plan out for the day. And I'll tell you what, most agents in this business don't really even have a plan. They're very reactive to their day. All these things hit them and they're kind of like a hamster on the hamster wheel. And they're the whole day they're reacting to things instead of actually having a plan and being proactive. So this is why I go through this process every day. I drink a lot of water and I have a plan. I would encourage you to check out the book. And the better your morning rhythms are, the more you will sell real estate, believe it or not. It's very, very key. All right. So now, first off, these are 8 particular websites that you need to have locked in. Okay. And when I say locked in, I mean your brand has to be consistent. Your photo needs to be consistent. Your slogan needs to be consistent, right? Your biographies need to be in these websites, right? There needs to be some similarities, right? So if I Google Sean Newen, what am I going to see? I'm going to see a lot of different websites and about what's going on with Sean. So as a consumer, I want to see something really good about Sean, that he has consistency and his brand is not different on every site. Does that make sense? By the way, homes.com is now bypassing realtor.com and becoming probably the best and the biggest real estate website out there. So you need to make sure that you're on homes.com. That's a definitely a big change in the marketplace. YouTube is becoming more and more popular every single day. I think that if you're an agent and you're not doing video, you're missing a lot of business. To me, video is an absolute essential as far as being an agent in this business. Google reviews, you need to go onto Google and Google my business. Make sure you Google yourself and your name and see what pops up. By the way, you can put reviews on Google from anyone. It doesn't have to be a client. Did you know that? You could call anybody that's done business with you and they can give you a Google review. And search engine optimization, a lot of it revolves around the quality of your reviews. So make it a point to start getting reviews on your Google profile. Okay, so I call these a Super 8. I'll try to drive down a little bit into some of those. We're in a skill-based market, guys. In fact, in Arizona, we've lost almost 5,000 agents in our marketplace since November. And so the people that are in the business now in Phoenix are becoming a lot more serious, and they're a lot more focused on their skills. So going on listing appointments is a skill. And I think I really didn't even get really good at it till I went on at least 25 of them. You have to keep going on listing appointments to get better and better. So what I want to share a few things that I think you should do when you have a listing, because I think that what you do with a listing will help you get more listings. Would you agree? People talk, right? And they want to see what you can bring to the table. I don't want you to ever go into a listing and be afraid of the listing. I want you to be feeling like you have this, you can conquer this, you can add a lot of value. So when you walk into a listing, what are your offers? You know, what are you offering them besides you just knowing the purchase contract, besides you putting it on some Facebook pages and doing some marketing? What are you offering? Are you offering them professional cleaning? Are you offering them a handyman? What are you doing? Are you doing some low-level staging on the house? What are some of the things that you're offering? Always think about your offer. What is your irresistible offer? And most agents don't have any offers. They just talk about the general things that every other agent does. You don't want to be like every other agent. You want to do above and beyond. If you do any work that's done on the house prior to going on the market, do you do the little things? Like, do you actually schedule the work on the seller's calendar? Wouldn't it be nice if you put that on the calendar, on a Google Calendar, and actually put their company name, the vendor's name, and the contact information of who's going to be at their house, right? These are little things that make all the difference. Do you can you provide videos when the work is done? So you know what you know what it looks like before the work is done, and then after, and have you taken pictures and videos, and are you there to make sure the work is done properly? Of course, we know that that's the seller's responsibility in the end, but you're the one that kind of orchestrates everything. Those little things matter. You know, when you have a listing, do you bring the sign? Do you bring the lockbox on your appointment? You can do customized signs per listing if you'd like. Now I'm starting to do, instead of doing the standard listing sign, I might customize the sign and have 6 different pictures on the actual sign of the house. So they have their own specific listing sign. That's going to run you about $75. But see, these are the things that make it a little bit different. I'll actually bring in a lockbox, because as agents, we always refer to the lockbox as a lockbox. But what if you call it an electronic surveillance system? That has a different ring to it to the consumer. Language matters. Language matters in what we call things, and because we get so used to using the same language. Are you arriving before the photos are taken? Are you taking charge? Are you making sure the home shines? Are you doing some low-level staging? Maybe there's some flowers that you need to put in the flower pots out front. Anything to make that look better. Are you asking the neighbors in the community why they love the community? One of the agents in my organization does that, and then she puts those placards in the listing in those little stand-up stanchions and puts quotes from the neighbors on why they love the community. Little things like that matter. Community events. Do you have coupons for local businesses? Are you publishing the distance to the amenities in the house? If your listings shine, then you're going to get business because everybody's going to see it around there and they're going to go, what in the world is Jeff Sutherland doing? That is amazing. That guy's he's promoting that listing like crazy and just doing all the right things. If my seller's anxious, I'm going to communicate with them like practically daily. It doesn't hurt to text somebody just an update when you have a seller because you guys know how this works, right? Sellers, if they have anxiety and you're not communicating with them, what do they think? They think that you're not doing anything, even though you are. So you have to put a system in place. The more anxious they are, the more you're going to need to communicate with them, especially during the first couple of weeks. You can send videos of prior listings if you need to that prospect. You can bring a net sheet to the appointment because does the seller really care about your commission or does the seller care about what they net? It's about what they net. So you bring in a net sheet, you come prepared with that information. That way you can talk about different levels of pricing and you have the proceeds. I'll find out what the balance is on the loan prior to going out there and what the interest rate is. And with that, you can do a net sheet. So again, all these little things matter, in my opinion, and those help referrals. People talk about what you're doing. Okay. Okay, so this is how I do a listing appointment. Okay. Before I do the listing appointment, I will send people any marketing I can to secure that first appointment. I have a YouTube video that I share, which is really effective, and it highlights me as a listing agent. I can send them a slide deck. I have a whole complete Canvas slide deck that I send them. So I position myself as an expert, and there's no way in the world they're going to cancel on me because I'm proactive that way. I might even send them a little gift prior to the appointment because you know that time between when you set the appointment and when you actually have the appointment, it's a little bit tenuous. You want to lock them in, and that's how I do it, by sending them those things. When I get to the appointment, this is a structured sales process. I learned this early on in my career when I sold new homes, and I apply it to this day. I want to build rapport, number one. I want to lead with compliments. I'm going to look good. I'm going to dress sharp, and I'm going to find things that I love about them and their family and compliment them and compliment their house. Then I'm going to do a tour of the house, and that's where I'm going to take lots of notes. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And what I do sometimes is I actually ask permission if I can record it, only because I don't want to forget anything that's said in the house, because it's strictly to help me to remember if there's anything important they said about the house. I also will take some pictures of the house, but obviously not to publish. These are just for me to remember what's in the house, so I don't forget. Then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a needs analysis with them, and it's going to be very thorough. This is most likely the biggest investment of their lives. So I'm going to listen. I'm going to be very patient. Yes, somebody had a question, Janine.
Yes. So is your listing YouTube video available for us to watch?
Yeah, we could watch it right now if you want. It takes about 2 minutes. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna reshare.
That's a good question. Thank you, Shalina.
Yeah, I'll show it to you right now. Hold on a second. I would love nothing better to do that. Okay. So just give me 1 sec. To me, everyone needs a sizzle video, meaning something that's really gonna get people to say, wow, you know, that's somebody I really want to work with, right? So if you can you see all see my YouTube page? I'm going to scroll down. All these are videos I've done over the years, constantly trying to do YouTube videos. And I'm going to go down to what I send my sellers prior to the appointment. Here we go.
You know, a lot of investors right now are sitting on the sidelines thinking they're doing quite My name is Jeff Sutherland, Associate Broker with EXP Realty, otherwise known as Just Jeff. I've lived in this community for over 30 years and I love living here. In fact, I've tried to support this community in a variety of ways. One thing I take very seriously is my real estate career. As a broker, I try really hard to serve my clients. In fact, I try to live by the words of Zig Ziglar. The more that you help other people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. And that's the way I live my life. I grew up in Indiana and my parents taught me the value of hard work. When I arrived in Arizona, I worked hard and I received my undergraduate degree at the University of Arizona, then got my master's in business administration at University of Phoenix while I worked on the production line at night at Intel Corporation. During that time, I also served 6 years in the United States Naval Reserve. I always wanted to serve my country just like my father and my grandfather. In the community, I have been active in coaching youth sports, and I was even the president of the Gilbert Softball Little League. I love helping kids become better leaders. Ever since I received my real estate license in 2001, I put my heart and soul into my work. In fact, I believe it's my job to take the stress off of my clients, and I do that by becoming an expert negotiator and a great marketer. The other thing I'm passionate about is helping out my fellow realtors. I've mentored hundreds of agents over the years because I want the consumer to have a great experience and I want the realtors to win for their families. I love helping my colleagues succeed. Real estate has changed a lot over the years. I love technology and what it offers. My clients love the tools that I provide to them to make it easy for them to navigate through a transaction. But nothing replaces experience and communication. Having built several real estate brokerages and also being on the ownership team of a large real estate company, I've helped oversee thousands of transactions, not to mention my very own. You can imagine all the things that I've seen in the area of real estate. When the going gets tough, I get the job done. And that's why my clients end up being lifelong friends. So if you, your friends, or family want a great consumer experience, give me a call. Or you can check out my YouTube page or my Facebook business page for timely updates. This is Just Jeff, your go-to Arizona real estate broker.
Impressive.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was 2 minutes and 38. That's what yeah, that's fantastic, Jeff. Thank you.
So I want you to think about your life and how you can differentiate yourself, right? And what is so special about you that people will be like, wow, I can't wait to meet this person, right? And that was the whole idea of that video, is to show my credibility. So let's continue with all this here. So I'll do the needs analysis. I'm going to ask a lot of questions because this is the biggest investment of their life. And I want to make sure that they're, basically I'm handling all of their questions okay. And I'm listening. It's to me, sales is just about as much about listening as anything else. And then demonstrate your marketing program. This is where I'm going to literally walk through how I'm going to market their property. I'm going to walk through everything. I'm going to walk through the social media approach. I'm going to walk through the networking approach, everything I'm going to do with KV Core, my CRM, how I'm going to boost their listing. I have several things that I'm going to do that I walk through. I don't assume that even if they say, hey, Jeff, I've sold a lot of houses, I don't assume that they know, and I want to walk through that. So I walk through all that. And then I also will touch on some of the major things of the paperwork and touch a little bit on agency as well. I'm going to talk about what fiduciary service looks like. So, but really I'm focusing on my marketing program and how I am the expert in the market. And then I'm going to ask the prospect to move forward. Is there anything that's keeping you from moving forward today? Let's move forward. And most of the time, they're ready to go forward. If they're not, they have an objection. If they have an objection, I'm going to handle the objection, and I use a formula called AEIOU. If you write that down, AEIOU, I acknowledge the objection. I empathize with the objection. I isolate the objection. I give them options, and then I create urgency. So Yeah, I understand. I understand, Randy, that you know, you may not want to sell it at this particular time, or maybe this is just kind of a bad time for you. Tell me more. I want to understand that. So I acknowledge it. Then I have empathy. I can understand why you feel that way. And then I'm going to give options. And I'm going to isolate it too, making sure that there's no other objections that I need to be aware of. Is there anything else besides the timing, Randy, that's keeping you from selling the house today? If I understand the objection, then I can understand and give him options in order to move forward. So, you know, that's how I'll do with that. And then I'll move into another, let's close it again. Let's try to see if Randy can move forward with the options that I gave him. Right. So to me, that's a big important step, that you're listening to them. Okay. Okay, on this, I'm not going to go too far into this, but you have to know your data, guys, in the local market. And everybody here has some source of data. You have your local MLS, you have all these different ways to get data. I'm going to show you pretty much what I think you need to know as a listing agent. You need to know what your monthly median sales price is for your marketplace. I have something here in Phoenix called the Cromford Report, which I use, and it's sensational. Everybody should have some data source and know what's going on. Is it a balanced market? Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Where is it trending? You need to be able to talk to this. When people say, how's the market doing, Janine? Oh, it's unbelievable. Blah, 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 blah. You want to sit down and let's talk about it more in detail. I know that in February, 45% of the sellers were conceding money on closing costs, almost half in our metro area. Important to know. I know how many median agent days are on the market at time of contract. It's trending downward because it's the spring selling season where I'm at. All good data to know. I understand the fluctuations between supply and demand and the price line. And look at that price line, how it went up here in Phoenix. And wow, it's way up there. And I can look at the green and the blue down below, and I can tell them, you know, if we have lower demand, lower supply, which we have now, we have both low demand and low supply. But we also have more or less a seller's market still in Phoenix, believe it or not. So I can show history. I can show, you know, very good intelligence around what's happened to our market over the last 20 years, just with decent data. And remember, more than half of the people out there like data, right? They like to look at information. And I also know that certain municipalities in the marketplace are either in a seller's market, buyer's market, or a balanced market. It's important to know that. Right? So all this is what I use to drive home my points. I know how many active listings there are across the valley. I know, depending on, again, the city, are we lower than normal supply? Are we lower than normal demand? And it's a pretty powerful report. Everyone needs to be able to draw from data, because then it's not just your opinion. Would you agree? I mean, everybody's got an opinion, but you have to have some data that's objective. Okay, this is a regular week for me. And you'll notice it all starts with your calendar. And everything that's in green for me is lead generation time. That means it's income producing activity. If it's in green, that means I am working on growing my own business, or I'm helping somebody in my group's business grow. It's very heavy on lead generation and growing my business. So if I'm not trying to add more people into my organization, the other half of my day is usually spent helping people like Sean and Jen get more business and help them with their business. So that's where I'm at. And really, this is no different from if you were in straight sales and looking for buyers and sellers. You need to time block Monday through Friday, at least 2 hours a day, at least. And that's my green area. You'll see that. All the other ones a lot of them are meetings with agents I have in my organization. Janine mentioned I'm a part-time pastor, so those items are in red. So I'm doing things mostly usually on Thursday, and I'm trying to obviously categorize things appropriately in my calendar, and then I work out in the early morning. You can see that at the crack of dawn. But this is a calendar that wins because it's disciplined. And I can tell you how disciplined and how successful someone is when I look just by looking at their calendar, typically. So that's one of the things I would start with, is sharing your calendar with your mentor or your coach, because that's where it all starts, is how, what does it look like? Does that help at all? Cool. Ask me questions if you have questions. Here's the magic formula, guys. This has been in existence for a long time, ever since Gary Keller, that really smart guy for Keller Williams, wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. And I've always used this formula since then. And I've always tested it, and it's pretty much right on. So if you take the number of people in your database and you divide that by 12 and you multiply that by 2, that's how many transactions you should have in a year. For example, let's say Janine has 150 people in her database. And if I said, Janine, out of all those 150 people, if I were to call any one of them, would they say, Janine is my real estate agent? Yes, Jeff, absolutely. 150 people, they're sold out. I'm their number one realtor. Great. So let's put this equation into practice. 150 divided by 12, that's a little bit over 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, 24. Okay, so if I took what's going on in my area, I know the median sales price in my county is about $430,000. Okay, so if I took $430,000 times 24 transactions, and let's say we multiply that by an, let's say, average of 2.5%, that is $258,000. That's a pretty good living, $258,000. That will show up very predictably as long as you're doing what Gary Keller taught a long time ago in that book, which is called the 33 Touch Program. Does anybody know what the 33 Touch Program is? Okay, that means you're going to touch every single person in your database, all those 150 people, 33 times a year. And it's so simple. If you think about it, if you call somebody 4 times a year, that's 4 touches a year. If you follow it up with a nice handwritten note, that's 8 touches a year, right? So every quarter you're calling them, every quarter you're writing them a note, that's 8 already. Let's say you send everybody in your database a newsletter. Maybe you're using KV Core and you send them a newsletter once a month. That's 12, right? That's 12 touches a year. You're already at 20. It's so easy to get to 33. That is a very important concept in real estate, is taking care of your sphere. Because there's only 2 groups of people out there, guys. There's your sphere of influence. Those are people you know, and then the people you don't know. So if you have a few fishing poles in the water and you're getting new blood into your database constantly by these different lead generation prospecting mechanisms, and then they come into your sphere and you take care of them, that's essentially real estate at a very high level, right? So this is what my daily grind looks like. This is what I do every day. I'm making at least 10 outbound calls a day to prospects, whether it be salespeople or actually an agent attraction as well. I'm writing 3 notes a day. I've done it for the last 20 years. Notes, if you just did notes and that's all you did, you could have a great business, because a personal note is I think it's kind of a lost art, and people love them. And a good note is when you write something kind about somebody and you tell them how much you appreciate them, and don't talk about yourself. That's how you do a note. 1 market report a month. I use that with the date I just showed you. I do 1 video a month, and I send that out through KV Core. I send it out to my entire sphere, and I do a market update, which I do on video. I upload it to YouTube, and then I send it over to KV Core, and I do a mass email on KV Core so they can see a video that I've done about the marketplace. I use HomeBot. That's something that many people use around the country. A lot of people love HomeBot. My clients like it. I understand my database. I know that there's A+, A's, B's, and C's. in every database. And it's up to you to figure out what are those differences going to be in those 4 areas. A pluses are referral partners, top of the line people that have a ton of influence, and they can give me referrals to other people in the community that have influence, right? Those people are gold. If you have 5 A+ people in your circle, you will have a flow of real estate coming to you, and you're going to be also giving them leads as well. These are called referral partners because you're helping each other. Okay. And it's based on reciprocity. You're helping them out, they're helping you out. A pluses. You have A's, the next rung down, A's, those are raving fans. Those are people that love you already, and they are out there walking and talking billboards for you, and they're talking about how great you are in real estate. B's are people that would think you're a realtor, but to them, you're a secret agent because you have not told them you're an agent. Those people there's quite a few of them that don't even know you're a real estate because you haven't let them know. Those are B's. And C's are people that are new blood. They're constantly coming into your database because of your prospecting efforts. If you're not growing your database, it's dying. There's no such thing as stasis with a database. Just like in relationships are growing or they're dying. Right? So same with the database. Recognize important events in the lives of your sphere, and then ask for business 15 times a week. Could you imagine if you asked people 15 times a week if they need to buy or sell a house? Trust me, you would have tons of opportunities in your business. My main goal every day is to set 2 appointments. Every single day, 2 appointments. I know that if I set 2 appointments a day and I set 10 appointments a week, that's 40 appointments a month. I will never have a problem with generating more than enough business in real estate. Real estate is a business where you need to be presidential, and presidential people in business understand their numbers. They understand if they do X and all these activities here, they're going to get Y. And they get really attached to the activities, and then the results show up. Does that make sense? How's my speed, Janine? Am I going too fast, or anything you want me to improve upon here?
No, I'm picking up so many golden nuggets. Like I've written down, so it's fantastic. Yes. And at the very end, I definitely want to hear everybody else's golden nuggets, what you got from it. But yes,
Okay.
no, it's very inspiring. Just like Shalina said.
All right, good. I'm trying to get through a lot because there's so much. If your business life depended on you taking a listing this week, think about that. What would you do? Well, you'd put a lot of different lines in the water, I think. First of all, you'd try different things. Look at all these things you guys can do right here. Now, here's the problem. A lot of agents do too many things, and they become mediocre at many things instead of mastering 1 or 2 things. So what is it going to be in this list that you're going to focus on and say, okay, this is how I'm going to bring in new people. This is how I'm going to explode my database, right? I don't want you to do all these things. I just want you to do 1 or 2 and be the best at it. Be the absolute best at it. Okay, you're going to have to focus on prospecting. And one of the things I would recommend you do, especially if you're in our company at EXP, is you need to understand KV Core. That is a absolute gorilla to create business. And I just took you a couple snapshots right here of just some of the marketing systems we have in KV Core. And I use many of them. I use Core Present to present CMAs to my sellers. I do mass emails. I do texting. I do hashtags, search alerts, smart campaigns. I do probably 60% of these things on this page. Of course, we're not going to create a KV Core class here because we would be here for hours. But I just wanted to share with you, you need to become masterful at KV Core. It's so important. And because your database is your business. That is your business, right? What if you did a CMA a day? What if you actually did 1 CMA for somebody in your sphere of influence every day, and you called them and said, hey, Sean, this is Jeff Sutherland. How are you? Hey, I just did a comparative market analysis on your house. I don't want to throw it away. Could I send it to you? I wanted to get your feedback. Well, sure, Jeff, absolutely. Send them the information, either hand deliver it to them or send it on email, and then do a follow-up call. Let's sit down and talk about it. It doesn't matter if they need to sell their house or not. I think of myself as like a financial planner, right? And anybody that has a financial planner, they should be meeting with their financial planner once a year at the minimum to go over your portfolio, your financial goals, right? Well, why are we any different? We're real estate agents. We should be going over their biggest asset and talking to them about the value of their house. That creates an appointment. And guess what? They will give you referrals. We have to get out there. We have to get out there in front of people, or at the minimum on Zoom, but we need to create appointments every day with buyers and sellers. If you do 16 CMAs a day, you're going to get one listing presentation. That's the ratio we're running at. 16 of these, that's one a day for 16 days. You're going to get one appointment. That's not bad. You can do one CMA literally in 15 minutes with Core Present, with KV Core. It's easy, right? So get good at this tool and get it out there. And I'll show you what I do in that space in a minute. Geographical farming. If you know the numbers of geographical farming, for every 50 people that you geographical farm, and that's sending 2 mailers a month, for every 50 homes that you farm, you're going to get one listing a year. This is a 50-to-1 ratio. But geographical farming is expensive. And I'll guarantee you, most agents, after about 3 or 4 months, quit doing it. So they spend all this money and they put all these mailers out there, and then they stop. And it's unfortunate because sometimes they're 2 feet from gold. They're right there on the precipice of getting listing appointments, but they just don't want to continue with it. So geographical farming, you got to make sure you do it in the right area, and you don't go somewhere where it's saturated with 1 or 2 agents that own most of the market. You want to have a pretty diverse group of people that are handling that area. And you also want to pick a community that has over 6% turnover rate. That's how you do geographical farming. I would prefer going in and doing categorization of my Facebook friends. I like to do digital farming and target people digitally. So, for example, if you have a pretty large connection friendship base in Facebook, have you categorize them. Because when you do that, you can start to target people with different messages just with your postings, your posts. So start thinking about all the people you have in Facebook and why are they not also in your CRM? Or how come all the people on your phone are not in your CRM? Most agents' data is not similar. Their data is everywhere, and there's discrepancy between their different databases they have. Okay, networking. So you can pick an organization that you're passionate about, another way to get business. Look at LinkedIn and Facebook. Pick a person that you know well. Ask them to introduce you to the best business owners they know. It's all about, who you network with. You can start your own BNI group. You can handpick networkers and givers. You can actually start your own. You don't need to pay a lot of money to be a part of a networking group. You can begin your own. I like to pick the most 5 successful people that I know of and ask them if I can interview them. What if you picked 5 people in the next couple months and took them to lunch and interviewed them on why they were so successful? Guarantee you, at the end, they will say, "How can I help you? How can I help you, Jen?" Well, funny you should ask. I'd like to support you in your business, and can I apply to be your agent or somebody you could refer people to? Generally, people want to help, but we don't ask. We don't ask for help. So we need to go out to people that have amazing influence with a humble posture, ask them questions, write notes, develop these relationships. It's all about appointments. I talked about 10 appointments a week. That's upper echelon. If you can do 10 appointments a week, you're at the top of your game and the top of the industry. Those with the most appointments win.
So
YouTube.
Jeff, really quick to also the CMA, because it was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it more of a like a friendship CMA, or is it like a listing presentation CMA? So that I think to clarify that.
Yeah. So if I'm sending it to a sphere of influence person, I'm going to call them and I'm going to send it to them. And then I'm going to ask them if I can make an appointment to stop by and review it with them. Right. And the same with my farm areas, which I'll go over in a minute. A great way through KB Core to get tons of leads. Make sure I don't forget to tell you about that, because that's a real winner strategy. But yeah, I do try to make an appointment. I want to see them because it really couples as a Popeye, right? I'm doing a CMA for somebody in my sphere of influence and I'm stopping by their house. Well, that's just as good as a Popeye, right? And Popeyes are a very fast way to get referrals in business. We should be seeing our people. If you have 150 people in your database, then you should be seeing them at least once a year, in my opinion, face to face, right? That's how you stay top of mind. I'm constantly putting YouTube videos out there, on whatever. Some get a lot of views, some get very little. And I'm by no means a YouTube expert, not at all. But I do keep on putting it out there because many times I just recycle that video and use it for prospects and different things. So, yeah, I'm definitely not an SEO expert. There's a lot of people that are, but I do believe in putting good content out there all the time. So people can go to my YouTube page because they're going to look you up for sure. They're going to see, how does Jeff really know what he's talking about? Think service, not sales. Think loving people and serving them and reframing the whole lead generation thing that we've always been taught for years. It doesn't have to be about that. It's about nurturing and caring for people. And that will get you more appointments by asking the right questions and being patient with people, going on their Facebook feed and seeing what's happening in their life, calling them up and saying, congratulations, your son just graduated from high school, or I see you lost your father. I just wanted to call you and tell you I'm really thinking about you. And don't talk about real estate. Those are calls. Real estate should not be part of that conversation. But you know what? People do care that you notice. So that's how I win with my sphere. I know their families. I know what's going on, right? You should know that family. Would you guys agree with me on that? Yeah. So when I'm calling my sphere, about 30% of the time, I'm leading with a comment like, hey, Janine, this is Jeff Sutherland. How are you? I just had a couple minutes. Can I talk to you about a business concept real quick? Sure. And then I'm going to give them some sort of offer, or I'm going to tell them that I met a good contractor, share somebody in my Rolodex with them. It'll be something about business, or I'm offering a free such and such, or, I'm doing a CMA in your area and I'd like to do one for you. It's an offer. You've got to offer them something. After I get done with that, then I'm going to shift right into Ford, F-O-R-D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Because it'd be really awkward if I started with Ford and then they told me about something tragic in their life. And then I said, oh, by the way, I want to talk to you about business. That would be weird. I don't think I would appreciate that if I was on the other side of the phone. So I think about 30% of the time I like to lead with business. And then the rest of the times during the year, I'm just talking to them about, things in their life. But I don't just call people just for the heck of it. I call them with a reason. I always want to be able to give them something of value. So think about these calls before you make them. So you're not just calling and saying, I'm just checking in. To me, you have to have something a little more deeper than that. You can certainly email people, another good way to get listing appointments and show them their value of their home that has increased over the past year. I have a gift for you. It's a special market analysis. That's another way to hit your database. You can text them. Okay, you can go back and forth with texting about the increasing value of their home. You can do mass texting if you want. You just got to really think through these things, especially when you set them up on campaigns and such in KB Core or your CRM. making sure that it's sounds like you. You can text them things like this. Hey, Bob, hope you and the family are well. Real estate market's bananas. In case you haven't heard, interest rates are decreasing. Buyers are abundant. Curious about the increased value of your home. Thanks, Jeff. You can get out a lot of these types of text in mass waves. What if I told you your property increased by 3 to 5% this past year? We're critically short on homes. Would that change your feelings around selling your home this year or next? People are shocked by how much their homes are worth. And most people are sitting on a lot of equity right now in the country. So a lot of people are looking for options to sell. It's just the only reason they're holding out is because they have that 2.9 interest rate. So if you can find a way for them to move, you win, right? And so they have a lot of equity right now, by the way. One of the things you should be talking to sellers about that have all that equity is right now their equity is not working for them. Their capital is not working for them. It's sitting there as equity. What if you could go get another asset with some of that equity and now they have 2 assets? Help them be a wealth builder. Talk to them about how people build wealth. They don't hoard their equity. They take some of that and they actually go invest in something else.
Jeff, really quick, do you have maybe a YouTube video how to do the CMA in KV Core?
I do. Yeah.
Good.
I have a Loom video. It's on Loom, and I will send it to you if you'd like. You can get it out to everybody.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Let me write that down. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Past clients. How many agents have all these clients that love them in the past, but they don't communicate with them? Blows my mind. Biggest gold mine you could possibly have in real estate is your past clients. We have to keep in touch with these people. If you don't, go back in your archives and find every single person you did a deal with in the last 5 years and contact them. And if you haven't contacted them, start off with an apology and say, I'm so sorry. I've not done a good job communicating with you. I hope you'll forgive me. That is definitely changing in the future. I'm putting systems in my business to make sure that doesn't happen. People are usually pretty gracious, but you got to reconnect with those people. Right now, businesses are hurting. A lot of small businesses are hurting. So wouldn't it be cool if you could give them a bump by doing some videos and such of their business? Go out there and do a video of the owner and interview the owner and then put it on your social media. Become the mayor of your town, right? Help other people win in business and you'll end up winning. In social media, I practice another thing called the 5-5-5-1. So every day I go in and I do 5 comments a day on people's posts, 5 direct messages a day on people's posts, and 5 likes or loves a day. And if you do that, you start to change the algorithm of who is in your feed, and you'll start getting a lot more people on your feed that you want to actually do business with. And people love interaction on social media. And I do 1 live video a week. That helps my SEO on social media. Okay, this is a good one. If you guys want more listing appointments, KV Core. So what I do is I go to the title company and I get all the emails and addresses and phone numbers of everyone in many farm areas. So now I have like 2,000 people in different farm areas in different communities, right? And you can get them per the community. You can get it at the community level. So then I upload all that information into KV Core. I assign a hashtag to those lists of people. So I live in a place called Allen Ranch. Let's say I have all these people in Allen Ranch. I upload them into KV Core. I put a hashtag on that list called Allen Ranch. I will send Allen Ranch 3 mass emails a month. 1 will be a search alert through KV Core. So everyone in Allen Ranch is going to get a search alert, which means they're going to see the listings in their immediate neighborhood of Allen Ranch. because KB Core does everything at the neighborhood level, which is amazing. So they're going to see their listings that are in their backyard that they want to know. Everybody's listing their property. How much is it going up for? Everybody's on a search alert per neighborhood. Everybody's on a market report per neighborhood. And then everyone gets a mass email from me with a video of myself talking about what's happening in that particular zip code. Because I understand the data. And they start to see me as an expert. Well, then guess what? All these leads start coming into my KB Core, into my dashboard every day. All these people coming in, viewing my reports. And I don't know them, but I call them. Hey, Johnny, thanks for looking at the report I sent you. I wanted to get your feedback on it. Is this helpful to you? That's how you get listing appointments. Digital farming. It works through KB Core like crazy. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
I hope this gets you excited because you get listing appointments. Let me know if it doesn't. Okay, now you can do all these things in the world, but if you don't have accountability, you're going to limit your success. Accountability is 80% of success. That means you have to have a coach. You have to have somebody you're reporting your business to, and they have to be somebody most likely that's not your significant other. Because usually your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend are not going to be able to hold you accountable like somebody that's outside of that circle, right? You have to give permission to somebody to be a little tough on you, and you have to be okay with submitting to somebody else's authority, because that's how you get better. Is you need accountability. And the more that you report your progress to other people, the better you'll be. So you got to have that. Man, I did this, Janine, like with 4 minutes to go.
Yay! It looks great.
What questions do you guys have? I want to make sure we touch on anything you want.
Yes, questions or nuggets you want to share. I know
Wanna
I
make
have
sure
some.
I,
I'll let everybody else go first.
I want to make sure I listen to the recording today again.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. I hope, Alicia, you had something. Yeah.
Yeah, who do you like to use for your video editing and stuff like that? It looks really professional.
Yeah, thank you. I used a videographer that actually goes to my church, and he does a lot of our church stuff, and he did that for me, and it was great. I don't know if he still does it, but if he does, I'll give you his name.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So I hope this helps. I mean, I hope you put some of these into practice and then let me know how it goes. You know, there's so much I just threw at you guys, but just take it one bite at a time, you know, and get a coach so you can start moving the needle in your business, and you'll win. You'll win.
Right. It would be kind of fun. Everybody's golden nugget, what you really got from this. If everybody could put it in the chat, that would be really interesting to see. Like for me, it was 33 touches a year. That just stuck with me. I'm like, I'm going to make sure of it. I'm going to count my touches, and I'm going to make sure I have 33 now. So that was my golden nugget. If everybody wants to put into in the chat what theirs were, that'd be fantastic.
Handwritten notes. Absolutely. It's my favorite part of this business is handwritten notes. Every day. It's such a priority for me.
Right. Shalene, I know you do that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool. KB Core has several great resources. Yes. Absolutely. Perfect.
Can
Well-
someone, sorry, can someone show me how to raise my hand in this room again? I tried.
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No, I want to find the button where I raise my hand in here. So, but my takeaway, the best thing is I like that your mindset. So you set your mind on the thing that you do in the morning, so that that keep you going the whole day and focus. Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. You know, my email, I'm going to put it in the chat. And then if anybody has anything you want from me, I can give you access to my productivity folder. I have tons of stuff in there. I'll give you this slide deck, whatever you need to help. Just shoot me a note, you know, and I'll put my email in here right now. And I want you to win because a lot of you are in the same company I'm in, and I want our company to win. So just let me know what I can do. So thank you very, very much, Janine.
Yes, we're all
Appreciate it.
here. So yes, thank you, Jeff. This was